There are many relationships around us, each formed from different needs. Whether material, psychological, or emotional, these needs drive us to seek connections with others. But here's the issue. When you approach someone in a state of begging, filled with unmet needs, you're essentially turning yourself into a beggar in that relationship. And let's be honest, a beggar doesn't get to choose. If you truly want the power to choose in this world, it all starts with you. The first step is to create a life where your experience feels fulfilling, not desperate. When you transform yourself into someone who doesn't depend on others for validation, you become confident, independent, and undeniably magnetic. Think about your career, your marriage, or any relationship in your life. The best outcomes happen when you show up as someone who already feels complete. People are naturally drawn to those who stand strong in their self-worth. This is where true freedom lies, when you're no longer chasing approval, but instead leading your own path. In this video, we'll explore practical Stoic principles, which are no begging, no chasing, no texting, and no games. Together, we'll uncover how to build self-respect, set boundaries, and become the kind of person who attracts the best in life. If you find this message valuable, share it with someone who might need it. And let's start a conversation. How are you working on becoming the best version of yourself? Share your journey in the comments below. Let's begin. 1. Stop running. Start owning your value. How often have you found yourself running after people, seeking their approval, or trying to fit into their world? It's exhausting, isn't it? The more you chase, the further your peace slips away. And yet, deep down, you know this truth. The value of your life isn't measured by how much you do for others, but by how deeply you understand your own worth. In the realm of relationships, whether in love, friendship, or even work, the act of chasing only diminishes your light. When you run after people who do not see your value, you send a message, not to them, but to yourself, that you are less than you truly are. This silent erosion of your confidence creates a cycle, trapping you in a state of constant pursuit, where fulfillment always seems out of reach. But let me remind you, your worth is not determined by how others treat you. It is not tied to the attention you receive or the validation you crave. Your value is rooted in something unshakable, your essence, your character, and the integrity of your soul. As the Stoics teach, no man is free who is not master of himself. To own your value is to reclaim this mastery. It is to stop chasing, stop running, and stand firm in the truth of who you are. This is not about pride. It is not about arrogance. It is about clarity, a deep understanding that you are already enough as you are. When you truly own your value, you no longer feel the need to explain yourself to those who misunderstand you, nor do you feel compelled to prove yourself to those who fail to appreciate you. Instead, you walk away. You let go, not because you are bitter, but because you honor the quiet dignity of self-respect. In love, this truth is especially profound. To love someone deeply is to offer them the best of yourself. But when that love is not reciprocated, when you feel that you must chase after their attention or beg for their affection, you are no longer offering love. You are pleading. And in pleading, you lose the essence of who you are. The Stoics remind us, do not waste what remains of your life worrying about others unless it affects the common good. To cling to someone who does not value you is to waste the precious gift of your time and energy. Owning your value is an act of liberation. It frees you from the chains of dependency and empowers you to choose relationships that reflect the respect you have for yourself. This is not easy. It requires courage. It requires discipline. It requires letting go of the comfortable patterns of chasing and stepping into the unknown, where your worth is no longer defined by others, but by the strength you cultivate within. And what happens when you stop running? Something remarkable occurs. You begin to attract those who see you for who you truly are, without the need to chase, without the need to prove. These are the relationships that nourish you, the connections that uplift you, and the moments that remind you of your inherent beauty and strength. This journey is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about taking small, deliberate steps each day to realign your actions with your values. Start by asking yourself, Am I running because I fear being alone, or am I standing still because I honor my worth? The answer to this question holds the key to your transformation. Your value is a quiet strength, a steady light that doesn't demand attention but commands respect. Own it, stand in it, and let it guide you to the life you truly deserve. 2. Put your self-respect front and center. Take a moment and ask yourself, how often do you compromise your feelings to keep the peace? How often do you say yes when every fiber of your being wants to say no? These moments may seem small, but they carry weight. Each time you bend yourself to please others at the cost of your own comfort, you erode the foundation of your self-respect. Self-respect is not arrogance. It is not selfishness. It is the quiet strength of knowing your worth and honoring it, no matter the circumstances. When you put self-respect at the center of your life, you create boundaries. Not walls, but clear lines that define how you expect to be treated. The Stoics remind us, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Tolerance does not mean allowing others to overstep. It means holding firm to the values you set for yourself while respecting the boundaries of others. In relationships, a lack of self-respect manifests in subtle ways. Perhaps you've experienced it. Conversations that leave you feeling dismissed, repeated delays or cancellations without thought for your time, or an unsettling lack of reciprocity in the way your feelings are acknowledged. When you allow such behavior to persist, you're sending a silent message to yourself that your emotions, your time, and your presence are less important. This is where the shift begins. To center your self-respect is to declare, not to others, but to yourself, that you are worthy of being treated with care and consideration. It means choosing dignity over comfort, walking away from situations where your value is diminished, and refusing to let anyone make you feel small. The Stoics believed in mastering one's own mind and reactions. They taught that true freedom comes from within, from the power to choose how you respond to the world around you. Self-respect is the ultimate exercise of this freedom. It allows you to stand firm in your truth, unshaken by the whims and opinions of others. But this practice requires discipline. It means learning to say no without guilt, even when it's difficult. It means choosing solitude over disrespect, silence over unnecessary arguments, and growth over comfort. It's not about making others uncomfortable. It's about honoring your own well-being and preserving the energy needed to build a meaningful, fulfilling life. When you prioritize self-respect, something powerful happens. You stop seeking validation from those who fail to see your worth. You no longer wait for others to recognize your value because you already know it yourself. And as a result, you naturally attract those who respect and appreciate you for who you are. This shift is transformative. It liberates you from the cycle of people-pleasing and allows you to live with authenticity. When self-respect is your foundation, you are no longer swayed by superficial opinions or fleeting approval. Instead, you stand grounded in your truth, confident in your decisions, and steadfast in your beliefs. But remember, self-respect is not a destination. It is a journey. Each day brings opportunities to reaffirm your boundaries, honor your feelings, and choose actions that align with your values. And with every choice, you strengthen the relationship you have with yourself, the most important relationship of all. So, as you move forward, let this be your guide. Treat yourself with the same care, kindness, and consideration that you would offer to someone you deeply respect. Speak to yourself with compassion, act in ways that reflect your values, and never compromise your dignity to satisfy others. Because when you put self-respect front and center, you create a life that mirrors the strength, beauty, and wisdom within you. And in doing so, you not only uplift yourself, you inspire others to do the same. 3. Set boundaries that protect your peace. What is peace worth to you? In a world full of distractions, demands, and constant noise, your peace is your sanctuary. Yet too often it is sacrificed bit by bit when we allow others to overstep, to take more than they should, or to disregard what truly matters to us. The truth is that peace cannot exist without boundaries. Boundaries are not barriers. They are the framework that safeguards your emotional and mental well-being. In relationships, whether personal or professional, boundaries define how you expect to be treated. They reflect the respect you have for yourself and the standards you uphold. Without them, you leave yourself vulnerable to being misunderstood, taken advantage of, or even disrespected. As the Stoics remind us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Boundaries are an extension of this power. They are not about controlling others, but about mastering how you allow their actions to affect you. Placing boundaries requires courage, especially when dealing with people who are used to having access to your time, energy, or kindness without question. You may worry that saying no or asserting your limits will cause discomfort or even conflict. But understand this: saying yes when your heart says no is the ultimate act of self-betrayal. It is a silent signal to yourself that your peace, your comfort, and your well-being are secondary. Over time, this erosion of self-respect leaves you drained and disconnected from your own sense of worth. Protecting your peace means knowing when to step back, when to draw a line, and when to say, "I'm not comfortable with this." It is not an act of hostility, it is an act of love. Love for yourself and love for the integrity of your relationships. True connections thrive not when one person sacrifices endlessly, but when both parties respect and honor each other's boundaries. The Stoics teach us to live in harmony with nature and to let go of what we cannot control. Similarly, boundaries are not about forcing others to change, but about creating space where you can live in alignment with your values. When someone respects the boundaries you set, it is a reflection of their respect for you. When they don't, it becomes a moment of clarity, a reminder that not everyone deserves access to your life. But setting boundaries is only part of the journey. Upholding them is where your strength is truly tested. It requires consistency, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to yourself. People may push back. They may try to guilt you, manipulate you, or test your resolve. But every time you hold your ground, you reinforce your self-respect and protect the sanctuary of your peace. Remember, he who is not a slave to himself is free. Boundaries are your declaration of freedom, from guilt, from unnecessary conflict, and from the exhaustion of endless giving. When you set boundaries, you reclaim your time, your energy, and your focus. You create room for relationships that uplift and nourish you rather than deplete you. You choose to surround yourself with people who respect your values and in turn reflect the respect you have for yourself. So, pause and reflect. Where in your life do you feel drained or overwhelmed? What would change if you allowed yourself to say no without fear, without guilt? The answers lie in the boundaries you choose to set. They are not a wall keeping others out. They are a doorway to your inner peace, inviting only those who respect your value to walk through. Boundaries are not selfish, they are essential. And when you set them with clarity and confidence, you reclaim not just your peace, but also the power to live a life that honors who you are. 4. Commit to becoming your best version. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. These timeless words from Epictetus hold the key to a life of meaning and growth. To commit to becoming your best version is to embrace a journey of relentless self-improvement, one where every action is guided by your deepest values and highest aspirations. Too often we find ourselves trapped in the cycle of comparison. We look at others and measure our worth against their successes, their achievements, and even their failures. This constant comparison is a thief. It steals your focus, your peace, and your energy. The Stoics remind us that true fulfillment does not come from external validation, but from the quiet progress we make within ourselves. When you commit to becoming your best version, you stop chasing the shadows of others and start illuminating your own path. This journey is not about perfection. It is about progress. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a testament to your dedication, your discipline, and your resilience. The effort you invest in yourself becomes a reflection of the respect you have for your own potential. This commitment begins with clarity. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? What values do I want to embody? What skills do I want to develop? These questions are not meant to intimidate, but to inspire. They help you identify the gap between where you are and where you wish to be, and they ignite the drive to bridge that gap, step by step. But clarity alone is not enough. The Stoics emphasize action as the foundation of self-mastery. Without action, even the noblest intentions remain mere thoughts, drifting without purpose. To live with intention is to align your daily choices with your long-term vision. This means dedicating time to learn, grow, and refine yourself. It means choosing discipline over distraction and persistence over comfort. However, the journey to your best self is not without challenges. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the progress feels slow, and moments when giving up seems easier. But in those moments, remember the Stoic teaching: no great thing is created suddenly. Growth is a process, a series of deliberate actions that build on one another over time. Each challenge you overcome strengthens your character and brings you closer to the person you aspire to be. An essential part of this journey is letting go of the need for comparison. Your path is uniquely yours, shaped by your experiences, your struggles, and your dreams. Comparing your progress to that of others only distracts from the beauty of your own story. Instead, focus on personal milestones, those moments that remind you of how far you've come and motivate you to keep going. Committing to self-improvement also means embracing the discomfort of growth. Change is never easy, but it is always worth it. Each time you step outside your comfort zone, you expand your potential and discover new strengths within yourself. This discomfort is not a sign of failure, but a signal that you are growing, evolving, and moving closer to your best self. As you embark on this journey, remember to be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small victories, learn from the setbacks, and trust in the process. Becoming your best version is not about reaching a final destination, but about living each day with purpose, integrity, and an unwavering belief in your ability to improve. So let this be your reminder. You are capable of more than you realize. The potential within you is vast, waiting to be unlocked through commitment, effort, and persistence. Make the decision today to honor that potential, to dedicate yourself to growth, and to step boldly into the life you were meant to live. 5. Trust your inner compass. Ignore the noise. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. These words from Epictetus challenge us to examine how much weight we give to the opinions of others. Too often, we let the voices around us drown out the quiet wisdom within. We doubt our choices, question our instincts, and hesitate to follow the path we know is right, all because of external noise. But here's the truth. The world will always have opinions. Some will applaud your decisions. Others will dismiss or criticize them. That's the nature of life. Yet the power lies not in their voices, but in your response. Will you let their words define your actions, or will you trust the compass within you, the one that points unerringly toward your core values and deepest truths? To trust your inner compass is to embrace clarity in a chaotic world. It is to prioritize what matters most to you over the fleeting judgments of others. The Stoics remind us you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your intuition, grounded in your experiences and principles, is your greatest guide. It knows your journey in ways the world never could. However, trusting yourself is not always easy. The noise of life, opinions, expectations, doubts can feel overwhelming. But it is precisely in these moments of doubt that your inner compass becomes most essential. Silence the noise by focusing on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your beliefs. These are the elements that shape your path and lead you closer to the life you envision. When you trust your instincts, you take ownership of your choices. This is a liberating act. It frees you from the need for external validation and anchors you in the strength of your convictions. The Stoics teach us that true freedom comes not from pleasing others, but from aligning our actions with our principles. When you act from a place of self-trust, your decisions carry the weight of authenticity and purpose. Still, trusting your inner compass requires courage. It means accepting that not everyone will understand your path or support your choices. Some may even try to dissuade you, questioning your judgment or motives. Yet, this resistance is not a reflection of your worth. It is a test of your resolve. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: you have to assemble your life action by action, and be satisfied if each one achieves its goal. Your journey is yours alone, and its success is measured not by others, but by your alignment with your values. Trusting yourself also demands patience. The path you choose may not yield immediate results, and the noise of doubt, both internal and external, may grow louder. But patience is the virtue that sustains you through uncertainty. It allows you to hold steady, confident in the knowledge that every step you take, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your destination. At its core, trusting your inner compass is an act of self-respect. It acknowledges that you are capable of making decisions that honor your values and serve your growth. This trust is not blind. It is rooted in the clarity of your intentions and the discipline of your actions. It is a quiet strength that doesn't demand recognition, but radiates confidence and purpose. So as you move forward, let your inner compass guide you. Tune out the noise of doubt, the distractions of comparison, and the weight of others' opinions. Focus instead on what you know to be true: your values, your instincts, and your vision for the life you want to lead. Trust yourself, because the most profound journey begins not with the approval of others, but with the unwavering belief in your own path. As you follow it, you will find a sense of freedom, peace, and fulfillment that no external validation could ever provide. 6. Walk away fearlessly. There is strength in staying when challenges arise, but there is an even deeper strength in recognizing when something no longer serves your peace, your growth, or your values. Too often, we hold on, not because the connection fulfills us, but because we fear the uncertainty of letting go. Yet, holding on to what is broken only weighs you down, keeping you from the freedom and fulfillment you deserve. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. These words from Marcus Aurelius hold a profound truth, not just about our actions, but also about the relationships we choose to nurture. Life demands courage, and one of its greatest acts is knowing when to walk away. Walking away is not a sign of weakness. It is an act of self-respect. When a relationship, be it love, friendship, or even a professional bond, consistently drains your energy or steals your joy, it becomes a barrier to your growth. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control. You cannot control how others treat you, but you can control the choice to stay or to leave. To walk away fearlessly is to honor yourself. It is a declaration that your peace, your values, and your dignity matter more than clinging to what no longer aligns with your purpose. This is not an easy decision. It requires deep reflection and an unshakable belief in your worth. But in that moment of courage, you reclaim your power. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It does not erase the experiences shared or diminish the lessons learned. Instead, it allows you to carry those lessons forward without the weight of resentment or regret. Walking away is not about rejection. It is about liberation. It frees you to make room for the people, opportunities, and moments that truly align with who you are becoming. But fear often holds us back. The fear of loneliness, the fear of judgment, the fear of the unknown. It whispers that leaving is too great a risk. Yet, the Stoics remind us how ridiculous and how strange to be surprised at anything that happens in life. Uncertainty is part of the human experience, but it is also where possibility begins. Each step away from what no longer serves you is a step toward a future filled with potential and purpose. When you choose to walk away, you are not abandoning someone or something. You are choosing yourself. You are prioritizing your peace, valuing your time, and setting a standard for how you deserve to be treated. This is not selfishness. It is self-preservation. And in honoring yourself, you inspire others to do the same. The path ahead may be unfamiliar, but it is where growth happens. Walking away opens the door to rediscovering who you are, reconnecting with your values, and to rebuilding a life that reflects the strength and wisdom within you. So ask yourself, what is holding you back? What are you afraid to release, even though you know it no longer brings you joy or peace? The answers to these questions will guide you. And when you find the courage to walk away, remember that this is not an ending, but a new beginning. The journey of life is not about holding on to everything, but about knowing what to let go of. Walk away fearlessly, and you will find that the peace, strength, and fulfillment you seek have been waiting for you all along. 7. Be true. Be you. How often have you felt the pressure to mold yourself into something you're not? How many times have you questioned your choices simply because they didn't align with the expectations of others? The weight of living for someone else's approval can feel unbearable, can't it? But here's the truth. The moment you let go of that burden and embrace your true self, you unlock a life of peace and purpose. To live authentically is to honor who you are at your core. The Stoics remind us to live a good life, we have the potential for it, if we learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference. This wisdom teaches us that it is not the fleeting opinions of others or the trends of society that define us, but our ability to remain grounded in our values. Imagine this, a life where you are not swayed by others' judgments or fleeting trends. A life where your actions reflect your beliefs, not a desire to conform. For me, choosing a minimalist lifestyle was that decision. While others chased luxury or status, I found joy in simplicity. In those moments of conversation when my choices seemed out of place, I often felt like an outsider. But that simplicity allowed me to be fully present, to connect with myself in ways that felt true. Living authentically isn't about defying others for the sake of rebellion. It's about courage. Courage to live by your own principles, even when they go against the grain. When you embrace who you truly are, you stop living for external validation and start living for internal peace. This path won't always be easy. There will be times when others misunderstand you, when your choices feel isolating, or when doubts creep in. But remember, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Their opinions are not your truth. They are reflections of their perspectives, not a measure of your worth. To be true to yourself is to build a life that reflects your values and passions, rather than someone else's ideals. It's about creating a space where you feel at peace, regardless of how others view you. And in doing so, you inspire others to find the same courage within themselves. When you choose to be true, to be you, you step into a life filled with meaning, strength, and quiet confidence. And in that life, you will find not just happiness, but a profound sense of fulfillment that no external approval can ever provide. 8. Never settle for less than you deserve. The Stoics teach us how much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it. In the same way, the consequences of settling for less than you deserve are far greater than the discomfort of walking away. Accepting less chips away at your self-respect, your dreams, and the life you are capable of building. It tells the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you are willing to compromise your values, your peace, and your happiness. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, are you accepting less than what truly aligns with your worth? In relationships, in work, in the way you allow others to treat you, are you settling? This question is not meant to challenge your choices, but to remind you of a truth that is often overlooked. You deserve better, but only if you believe it and act accordingly. When you settle, you create a life that feels incomplete, a life where mediocrity replaces fulfillment. Settling happens quietly, often disguised as practicality or compromise. But deep down, you know when something is not right. You feel it in the way your spirit resists, in the moments of doubt that creep in, and in the nagging question, is this all there is? To never settle is not to demand perfection, but to demand alignment. It is to choose relationships that honor your worth, work that fulfills your purpose, and decisions that reflect your values. This is not about arrogance. It is about integrity. It is about living a life that mirrors the respect you have for yourself. Walking away from what doesn't serve you takes courage. It means trusting that better opportunities, better relationships, and better outcomes are possible. The Stoics remind us, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This is not a call to fear, but a reminder to choose wisely, to live intentionally, and to act in ways that align with your deepest truths. Believing you deserve better is not a selfish act. It is an act of self-preservation. It is understanding that you are not here to endure relationships that drain you, jobs that devalue you, or situations that compromise your peace. You are here to thrive, to grow, and to contribute meaningfully to the world. When you decide to stop settling, you create space for what truly belongs in your life. This space can feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable, but it is where transformation happens. It is where you find the strength to set higher standards, the patience to wait for what aligns, and the resilience to say no to what doesn't. Ask yourself, are you holding on to something because it feels safe or because it truly serves you? The answer is a compass guiding you toward your next step. To let go is not to lose. It is to make room for what you truly deserve. Never settling is a practice, not a destination. It requires daily reminders to choose yourself, honor your worth, and trust that better is always possible. It is not an easy path, but it is the one that leads to a life of fulfillment, freedom, and authenticity. So stand firm in your belief that you are deserving of more. Let this belief guide your decisions, your relationships, and your actions. Because when you refuse to settle, you begin to create a life that reflects the incredible value of who you truly are. As we close this journey, let us reflect on one fundamental truth. Your life is shaped by the standards you set and the actions you take. From refusing to chase what does not serve you, to honoring your self-respect, to walking away fearlessly, every choice you make defines the life you create. The wisdom of Stoic philosophy reminds us that true freedom lies within. It is not found in the approval of others or in external validation, but in living a life aligned with your values. You have the power to choose relationships, careers, and paths that reflect your worth, and you have the strength to let go of what does not. Ask yourself, are you living authentically? Are you prioritizing your peace and self-respect? If not, what small step can you take today to realign with the life you deserve? These are not just questions, they are invitations to transform. Share your journey in the comments below. What have you learned about trusting yourself, setting boundaries, or walking away when needed? Your story could inspire someone else to find their strength. Remember, you are worthy of a life filled with meaning, dignity, and fulfillment. Trust in your inner compass, never settle for less, and step boldly into the life you were meant to lead. This is your moment to reclaim your power. Take it.